The Volkswagen Golf Facelift. Here is the R-Line in the hatch version, but also the variant, the GTE and the GTI. We will all show you that today on Autogefühl, your #1 resource for in-depth car reviews and your #1 community to discuss cars with Thomas. We will start right here with this R-Line version in a special new color called Kurkuma, and really looks a little bit like the spice color. So let's go now with Autogefühl in full HD, full screen and full length. Starting with the fronts, what is interesting, we got new full LED headlights in the front. Those are optional. In the rear it will be different, I will tell you more about that soon. But here we see those optional full LED lights, and so far it was only available with the e-Golf and the GTE, now for the whole Golf model lineup. This one here, the R-Line, you can see the small logo right there, features lower bumpers in a stronger design version, also bigger air intakes in the lower part, so overall an aggressive front, and the whole front has been a little bit redesigned also with those with accentuations on the top of the hood, so the Golf looks a little bit sportier than before. Also the assistance systems has been updated and the sensors are hidden behind the Volkswagen logo now, therefore it's in 2D. And for example, the front assists now also features that the pedestrians are recognized, so this adds to the safety again. And here we can see now the side profile hasn't been changed so far of this iconic design with this very important C pillar. The alloys 19-inch in this case here, of course different ones available. And then to the rear, here we can see the new tail lights, also with the LED signature that has been changed, and LED technology in the rear for the lights is from standard equipment. However, what is not standard is there are also new cascading turning indicators for the rear. Those ones you get in the higher trim levels then. And here another look at this side profile. 4.26 meters is the total length of the hatch version, or 14 foot. Let's take a look at the interior, because we also see some changes here. On the way to the interior we can see the R-Line logo as well, here in this trim level. Then again, famous door closing sound in a good quality. Then the interior, here in the R-Line version, what can we see? First of all, the seats, a great combination of microfiber on the inside and cloth on the outside. This is the perfect combination you can get visually and also from all other features, and of course also as for the sustainability. There have been some updates in the interior, we can take a look at them. I'll get inside. Those seats are very comfortable, and said not only due to the surface, also due to this setup, how the seat is organized, and you have a, let's say, neutral, a standard feeling in here, because the Golf wants to appeal to a lot of different customers. 1m86 or 6'1", and that leaves me some headroom here with the panoramic roof built in. Same accounts for the rear passengers. If you want more headroom, leave out the panoramic roof if you're even taller than me. New are those digital instruments. They're called active info display. We've already known that from a Passat or the new Tiguan. And you can see a 12.3 inch, really huge. You do not get them from standard equipment, you can pick them optionally or with the very high trim levels then, and RPM and speed is digitalized, and also, for example, in the middle one you can get the GPS information or the consumption figures. So this one is available here for the Golf now, but that's not the only infotainment thing that has changed. The cockpit overview, this is really special now, because already in the overview you can see the new screen, 9.2 inch. This is, the biggest news here. It starts with 6.5 inch in the lowest trim with a screen, and this one is then optionally available. Other than that, we see soft touch materials here and a very clean setup as we're used to from the Golf. Horizontal layout, and of course this area seems even cleaner now, because we have a seamless design, as I would like to call it. The climate unit, however, in the lower part is still manually, and I do prefer that, because I like to change the temperature not only with touchscreen, especially when you're driving, then it's handier to change just with a separate knob. Also, heated steering wheel is available, connected with the heated seat. And this one is the new screen in detail now. You can activate it. It is, and there's also the GPS, also the sound controlled here. So those are not buttons, it's all capacitive, so just fields which react to your commands. And here you can lengthen the map. Also, those proximity sensors are still active, so if I leave the system for a while they disappear, and then if I just move my hand here, then you can see they pop up again, and I can browse inside the map. Also zoom in and out like with a smartphone. So it makes a very good impression and a good overview, and also you see the reaction times are fast. We're in Wolfsburg today, headquarters of VW. You can see it right here. This is here. It's all the plant. It's an own world. There are streets, and you even get a fine when you park in wrong spots here. So that's an own world for itself. Interesting here with the new infotainment system, let's go to the menu. You will also have a gesture control. You remember BMW used this gesture to turn up the volume or down again. Volkswagen did now is doing this here. So a wiping gesture, yeah, for example, can change in the menu on back. It's almost like slaps giving, slapping someone. Sometimes not sure where the sensor is directed, and maybe you have to practice a little bit how fast you can, but you've seen it works basically. Maybe you have to need some practice. With the BMW system, by the way, I also had the impression that the vehicle at the show did not react that fast, and the test vehicle later was even optimized for that already. Telephone can be combined with Bluetooth like this, or there's also the Apple CarPlay available. You can also wipe like this always. So Android Auto, that will be the USB controlled, and you can also put your images of your favorite cats or dogs in here if you like to watch them while driving. CarNet. This will also be available here now. The car can always be online if you like, and then you can have some concierge services, for example. In this vehicle we have the 6-speed manual. However, the DSG will also receive an upgrade, the dual clutch transmission. One by one, the 6-speed DSG with the wet clutch will be replaced by the 7-speed DSG with the dry clutch. What about the rear, the space we have there? First of all, as for the design, nice that the design from the front is also repeated at the rear seats. So you have a sporty design for the whole interior with white contrast stitches. We're in the compact class, and I have the seats I would be driving, and you see there's still enough space in front of my knees. Headroom wise is also fine, so this sets the standard for the compact class. Overall a good result, definitely. The hatch with a significant opening mechanism, and a little bit tricky because we're spinning at the moment. This is a classic hatch trunk. The 5-door version or with 3-door version, you can get a replacement tire optionally, or here this is the DIN audio system mounted here. And just remember how much space we have here. We can also flip the seats like this. Then you can fold them down. Also relatively even. Just remember this because we'll also show you the Estate as a comparison. Turbine style 19-inch rims for the classic performance model, the Golf GTI, in the red color trim here, and also you can see the fitting red contrast in the horizontal and also in the headlights, really inside the headlights. So really interesting design they've put out there. And the horsepower figures have been updated. So far you might remember in the performance version we had 230 horsepower. Now in the standard GTI we have 230 horsepower. And the GTI Performance will then receive 245 horsepower. So for both about 10-15 more. Won't make such a difference. But always good to sound, hey, more horsepower. And there's this GTI version, we can also see 2 massive exhaust pipes in the rear with chrome finish. And this is also the 3-door version, so you don't see such a big difference from the 5-door and the 3-door version. But this one here, of course, looks a little bit sportier even and fits to the GTI. And another special interior is the one here also of the GTI, and this is featuring red contrast stitches. You can see the steering wheel with a flattened bottom. Also the shifting lever has this golf ball style. Very interesting structure, and it's also when you drive the car you always feel it. And then the special sport seats with more support in a lower and higher area, also with microfiber in this comb structure. And this proves a comb structure doesn't only look good on animal skin, but also microfiber. Here, by the way, with leather red on the outside, so again, a very good combination. I really like it that they offer sustainable but still very attractive seat surface combinations. It's really good. And one testing seat here. And the interesting thing is that even for tall people, especially for tall people, those sport seats, they are sportier, yes, but at the same time they can be more comfortable as they also offer you enough space. And for example here for my body they do perfectly fit, and I really like the seating position here. And with the GTI the special thing is you still get a standard car for everyday driving, but a sports car at the same time. This is the unique thing about that one. And also here with the new virtual cockpit or active info display as it is called at Volkswagen. And we continue with the GTE version, the plug-in hybrid, 204 horsepower total system power with the 1.4 liter TSI plus the electric engine. And you can see the facelift also here, even more accentuated maybe. You have this characteristic blue horizontal line and the GTE logo, but also inside the headlights you can see that they have this new accentuation, and I think it's a little bit more significant even than before. So especially I like the facelift here in the GTE design. And the e-Golf, the fully electric version, will have a range update, so overall 300 kilometers of range now, and Holger will show you that one in LA. I found it quite handy at charging stations that you can fill up the car in the front, and the same accounts for this one here. A Type 2 cable can be mounted right there, and then you can charge the car and then later on flip the logo again, which is still in the 3D style. Very interesting alloys mounted here, 18-inch and with blue brake calipers in this contrast color. And in the rear we can also see now the optional cascading turning indicators. We know them already from Audi models, now also available for the VW Golf. It's pretty spectacular effect, I mean, why not? And the interior of the GTE, I'm not really sure. I mean, look at those seats with a blue structure here now. I'm not really sure which ones are my favorites. So if you take a look here again on the inside, also with more shoulder and also hip support. This structure is in a standard version of the GTI in red, as here in the GTE in blue. And I'm not really sure if I prefer this one or those performance seats we've seen in the GTI. Those ones here have the advantage if you have, let's say, a more blank fabric surface. It's a little bit, it doesn't heat up that much in summer times as the Alcantara, as the microfiber surface, and you know, you can slide around on it a little bit better. So on the racetrack, the microfiber is surely better. In everyday driving, this one is maybe better. But I think this checkered structure here, this is really polarizing. I like it, but tell me which one do you prefer, the GTE or the GTI look? Here it's all about blue, also with the contrast stitches on the inside and the COM structure around the logo here. And again, also the big infotainment screen, of course, all optional mounted here. Here the DSG is of course combined because with a dual clutch transmission, it's the best way to combine the electric engine and the normal ICE, internal combustion engine, is the abbreviation that is often used as well. You might remember the hatch version 4.26 m or 14 foot. This one here, the Estate or the variant, 4.56 m or 15 foot. So quite longer. So in this compact class you have it quite often that the Estate versions are longer, while in the mid-size segment the sedan and the Estate versions are usually the same size. What is different? First of all, interesting color here, really, isn't it? And in the rear here you can see it. It's a discontinued design line, where in the hatch the design line goes through all the way. Here we have, you know, just a normal shoulder part, and then the design line is continued in the very rear. However, in the rear, the variant is not that different, at least from the exterior. And let's get inside here in the rear. What is interesting with the variant here, if the panoramic roof is mounted, the headroom is not that superior. You have to watch out that if you have tall people in the rear, then leave out the panoramic roof. And interesting, of course, with the variant, from an unusual perspective today, is the trunk space. This is bigger, longer, of course, than in the hatch version. And the capacity here, 600 up to maximum of 1,600 liters. If we think about new engines for the whole model lineup, not only for the performance versions, is this one here, the 1.5 TSI Evo. That's the new engine. It will either be available with 130 horsepower in the Blue Motion variant, so optimized on lower consumption and supposed to be 1 liter less in consumption than the comparable predecessor, and also with a 150 horsepower variant. And how is this consumption cut achieved? First of all, the sailing or coasting function has been improved, that the engine is really shut off while coasting, while leaving the throttle, and also cylinder on demand technology, so cylinders can be shut off when they are not used. And now the conclusion: Volkswagen Golf facelift. From the exterior, even sharper in the design, even more significant. Very interesting, and I think still elegant changes, especially in those different variants we've shown you, and setting sails on all of the LED technology, for example. The interior, the main thing was the infotainment screen, the optional, the biggest one, 9.2 inch now, and I think a very nice integration from the design and also an update in general, because people expect also bigger screens and more connectivity. In general, the Golf has remained what it still is. It sets the standard in the compact segment with a lot of great variations, for example, as for the seat surfaces, as we've seen in the GTI or in the GTE version, for example. And we have also the update for the electric version, the e-Golf, that was utterly necessary because all of the other competitors also update the range. But again, more soon to the e-Golf facelift from Holger. And yeah, there has still be a lot of controversy about the Volkswagen brand because of the diesel scandal. But with this Golf facelift update, they really prove that on the product side, they're really still on top of the game. Would like to hear your feedback from this coverage here. Hope you enjoyed this world premiere together with Thomas. Join us also next time.